Hi, this is Jay. Welcome to Family Electronics. On this channel I review products that I use in my family with 3 kids. My focus is on online safety, parental controls, computers, phones, and home automation. Click to subscribe and then click on the bell icon to get notified when I post new content. Also, check out my website at familyelectronics.net. In this video, I'll show you how to install the TP-Link Deco M5 Wi-Fi system. In the description below, you'll find a link to my blog where I describe why I picked this system. If you want to see what's in the box, I'll put a link to the unboxing video in the description as well. In this video, I'll be using an Android phone to set up the Wi-Fi system. The iPhone version may look different. I haven't verified that, but I suspect it's very similar. Before we start the installation, we must install the Deco app from TP-Link. I am using a Google Pixel 2 XL here, so I'm going to go to the Google Play Store. If you are using an iPhone, go to the Apple App Store and find and install the TP-Link Deco app. Here I am opening the app for the first time. You'll be asked to set up a username and password. This is not the Wi-Fi password. You'll need this username and password combination to manage the network. Please choose a strong password and store it in a password manager. After setting my username and password, we're ready to set up our first Wi-Fi access point. Tap Let's Begin. We now have to tell the app which Deco we are going to install. So swipe left to find the Deco M5 and tap it to select. Then tap the Select button. The app tells us to get a Deco device, a power cable, and the included Ethernet cable from the box. Note that it doesn't matter which Deco device you take from the box, they're all the same. Tap the Next button. The app now tells us to power off the modem. The modem is the box from your cable or DSL provider that your internet and home phone line connect to. So let's power off that modem now. This is my Spectrum or Time Warner cable modem. There's no good way to turn it off, so I'm just going to pull the plug. Back to the Deco app on my phone. If you're still on the screen that tells you to power off the modem and you've done that already, tap the Next button. Now the app tells us to plug in the devices. Take your first Deco access point from the box, it doesn't matter which one, they're all the same. Also take one of the included power supplies and the included Ethernet cable to the place where you want to install it. Usually this is right next to the DSL cable modem, but you can put it anywhere in your home provided that you have a long enough Ethernet cable from the modem to the access point. Let me show you how I did it. Here we are in my master bedroom. My home has 2 network outlets in almost every room. My cable modem is in the master closet and connected to one of the network cables that runs to my master bedroom. Again, you could put the Deco access point next to your cable or DSL modem and plug it in there, but I didn't have a shelf for the Deco in my closet and I didn't feel like making one, so I used this setup. On a side note, the reason why I have this equipment in my master bedroom and master closet is to make it harder for my kids to circumvent the network security I have in place. Should they ever have a desire to do so. Alright, here we go. First, I'm going to plug the included Ethernet network cable into the network wall outlet that is wired to my cable modem. Remember, you can use either of these network ports, so I'm going to take the one on the right. Next, I plug the USB-C power cable into the appropriate port on the access point. I had already plugged it into the wall outlet behind this dresser, so you don't have to watch me crawl behind there. Okay, the status LED on top of the access point just came on. It looks a little pinkish. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, let me explain what this blue network cable is for. Normally, when you install this system, the 3 access points will communicate with each other wirelessly. However, you can also have the access points communicate with each other over a wired connection. This leaves more bandwidth for wireless devices available. It's called wired backhaul, and I'll put a link in the description below to an article on my blog that describes this in more detail. I read in a response on an Amazon question that the Deco M5 supports this. Okay, the status LED on top of the access point is now pulsing with a blue color, which means it's ready for setup. But first, I have to plug the modem back in. This will take a while to start up. The first blue light shows us the device is powered on, but it's not ready to go yet. Let's go back to the app. If you are still on the screen that tells you to plug in the devices, tap the Next button. Now the app tells us to check the modem to make sure that it's online. All modems are different, so the instructions on the screen may or may not be relevant for your modem. Let me show you how it works on my modem. Now we see a blinking light. This indicates that the modem is communicating with the cable provider to download all the information it needs to provide internet in your home. The light will stop blinking and be on solid once that's complete. It can take a while. Okay, the light is on solid now and the next light has started blinking. This indicates the modem is starting up the internet connection. And that's done. We should now have an internet connection. Now it's setting up the phone line for the alarm system. Done. If you have a modem like this, you'll see there are two lights that are off on mine, but that might be on yours. These lights are to indicate the status of the built-in Wi-Fi. One is labeled 2.4 GHz, the other 5 GHz. Wi-Fi signals can interfere with each other, so in order to prevent congestion of the wireless spectrum for my new Wi-Fi system and my neighbor's Wi-Fi, I turned off the built-in Wi-Fi. On Spectrum, you can do this through their website. And back to the app. If you're still on the screen that says check your modem and your internet modem is fully started up, tap the Internet LED is stable button. The app tells us to wait for the LED on top of the Deco access point to pulse blue. As you saw before, mine was already doing that, so I'll tap that big yellow button. The app is now asking to access the phone's location. I think that should be unnecessary, but I'll allow it anyway. The app is now looking for the Deco access point, and it is using Bluetooth on the phone to find it. Make sure you have Bluetooth on your phone turned on for this. It looks like the phone is now connected to the access point and getting ready to configure it. It wants to know where I'm putting this access point. For reasons I previously explained, it's in the master bedroom. Now it's trying to connect to the internet. Oh, you may or may not get this pop-up. If you do, and you are connected to a cable or DSL modem, you are most likely on dynamic IP, so leave it at that and tap Connect. Trying to connect to the internet again. Uh-oh, unable to connect to the internet. This may not happen to you. I've seen this problem before when setting up Google Wi-Fi. The way to fix it back then was to power off both the Wi-Fi access point and the cable modem. Then power the cable modem back up and let it fully power up, and then power up the Wi-Fi access point. But first, because that's a long process, I'm going to try and tap this Try Again button. Okay, fortunately that worked. Now it's ready to set up the wireless network. If you already have a whole bunch of wireless devices in your home that were connected to your previous wireless network, and you did not have any security issues on your previous network, such as your neighbors using your Wi-Fi, I recommend you give the network the same name and password as your previous network. That way you don't have to reconnect each and every device in your home. Saves you a bunch of work. My network is called Skynet, because I'm that old. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to show you how I entered my password. Tap the next button. Alright, my network is being set up. Complete. My first access point is set up. I have 2 more decos in the box, but I want to see what this app can do, so I'm going to tap I'm done for now. Uh-oh, what do you mean I'm offline? Oh, I see. The phone is connecting to the access point. Okay, here is a list of all the devices that are currently connected. Now remember that so far I have only set up this wireless access point. I did not connect any wired devices, and I did not reconfigure any of my wireless devices. But because I used the same network name, also called the SSID, and the same password as my old network, all these devices were able to reconnect automatically. Oops, a pop-up. An update is required. Okay, let's go ahead and tap Update Deco and see what happens. Okay, a screen describing the update. Not much useful information here. Let's tap Update. Okay, a pop-up warning me that the update will take 5 minutes. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you sit there and watch it for 5 minutes. Stay with me. I'll tap Update. The download completed in 43 seconds. Now it's updating. I'm not sure how long that took. I stopped recording after a while. Rebooting. Rebooting took 23 seconds, but at least it's up to date. Oh, this couldn't find Deco screen again. That's not very confidence inspiring. Back to the list of connected devices. Uh-oh, can't find it again? Hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come. And back to the list of connected devices again. Let's tap this device labeled unknown and see what we can find out. Not much info here. Let's tap the hamburger icon in the top left. Not much there either. Let's tap that yellow button in the bottom right. Ah, that's more interesting. Let's tap Advanced. Let's tap DHCP server and see what the address space on this network is. 192.168.0.100 through 192.168.0.250. That's pretty standard. However, Google Wi-Fi uses 192.168.86.10 through 250. And I have a Raspberry Pi with a static network address on my network, so I'm going to try and change the address space of this network to align with my old network. That way I don't have to change the settings on my Raspberry Pi and the devices that connect to it. Oh, it doesn't like that. I'm going to back out of this screen. Tapping Leave. Going back in to make sure that I didn't mess stuff up. Okay, it's looking good. Backing out of advanced settings and back to the device list. Let's see what this White Rogers division entry is. That's not very helpful. But when I tap the icon though, I get more details. Now I can see the MAC address of this device. Now I maintain a list of all MAC addresses and their associated devices, so I can look this MAC address up in my list. It's one of my smart thermostats. Let's add a new access point by tapping the plus icon in the top right of the screen. We have to select the type of access point again, just like before. I swipe to the Deco M5 and tap the select button. Now find a suitable spot. You should place your next access point in a location where it can still see the wireless network created by the first access point and where you think it will cover devices that are currently out of range of your first access point. You can use your phone's Wi-Fi indicator to scan your home. It's kind of like creating a Venn diagram, if you know what I mean. Because I'm using wired backhaul, this is not so important to me. I'm going to place this access point in my media room upstairs to cover the equipment there and my kids' bedrooms. Until then, I'm going to do the configuration in my kitchen. Tap Next. The app tells us to plug in the Deco. Now when plugging in this Deco, we should only plug in the power, no network cables at this time. Wait until the status LED on top of the Deco pulses blue and then tap that big yellow button. The second Deco is now trying to connect to the first Deco and retrieve the configuration information. And that failed. The screen suggests I move this Deco closer to the first one. Now mind you, they are less than 10 feet apart or 3 meters apart with a wall in between. My phone can see the primary Deco just fine. Let's tap Try Again. And it failed again. But this time I get the option to set up via Bluetooth. Tap that Set up via Bluetooth button. Okay, now it worked. I'm going to put this in the media room, which isn't one of the predefined options. So I tap Custom and type whatever I want. Done with the second access point. I'm tapping Done for now and return to the device list. There's the software update pop-up. It works the same way as before. I won't make you sit through that again, so let's skip ahead in time. At the end of the update, the app tells me the Wi-Fi system is up to date. But the second Deco, the one that was just updated, is still flashing an orange status LED. The status on the primary access point is green, so that one's good. And the second one just turned green too. I guess we're good now. Okay, let's tap the network name, Skynet. Both Decos are online. That's good news. Let's go back to advanced settings. Oh, an internet speed test. Let's have a look. Though I never really trust these because I think internet service providers prioritize the servers for the speed tests. But this looks like what I'm paying for. So I set up the second Deco in the kitchen, not far from the primary Deco in the master bedroom. Once it was all set up, I unplugged it and moved it to its place in the media room, where I powered it up without attaching any Ethernet cables. In the app, we see an exclamation mark by the globe icon, so let's tap that icon and see what's going on. We see that the access point named Media Room is disconnected. Well, that's right, because it's still starting up with an orange blinking status LED. Now the status LED has turned green, but the app keeps reporting the access point as being offline. Now when I tap the globe icon, both access points are listed as online. At this point, the connection between the two decos is wireless, but I told you I wanted a wired connection. So I plugged the blue network cable in the master bedroom into the other Ethernet port on the primary access point down there. That cable is wired to a network switch in the wiring cabinet in the master closet, from where a cable comes up to a switch in the equipment cabinet here in the media room. I'm going to plug a network cable into that switch and into the media room access point and see if something happens. After a few seconds, I can see the LED on the switch blink, indicating there is network traffic flowing to or from the media room access point. I did not get a message in the app that anything has changed. When tapping the globe icon, I can see that the access points remain online, but there is no indication that they were wired together. However, I see the traffic LED on the switch blink, so network traffic must be moving over the wires. At this point, I'm ready to set up the third access point. I'm not going to bore you by showing it all because it went exactly the same way as the second access point. It failed twice to connect to the existing Wi-Fi network and then did the setup over Bluetooth. Once it was set up, I got another pop-up saying that the software update was required and I had to do the update, all the same as before. At this point, the third deco is up and running and connected wirelessly to the network. It is good to see that the media room deco is still showing no trouble after I plugged in the Ethernet cable. I'm going to relocate the third deco to my office and connect it through the wired network in my house to the other two. All three decos are now in their final locations and wired together. Everything appears to be working fine, except I have a very weak signal on my computer in the office, even though the access point is only 10 feet or 3 meters away from it. I found this advanced setting that I want to show you. I hope it'll help. I'm tapping the yellow button on the bottom right, and then tap Advanced. Scroll down a bit to Fast Roaming and tap it. Tap the virtual switch for fast roaming to turn it on. This allows devices connected to the Wi-Fi network to quickly switch from one access point to another without dropping the connection. Especially now that phone calls on smartphones often get routed over Wi-Fi, this is a useful feature. It allows you to walk around the house while talking on the phone without dropping the call if you're calling over Wi-Fi, provided your phone supports that, of course. Immediately after turning on fast roaming, several devices dropped off the network, but eventually they came back one by one. So, in conclusion, the setup of the TP-Link Deco M5 is not exactly smooth, but the few hiccups along the way are easily fixed by tapping Retry. The system is currently working well. In the near future, I'll post another video showing how to configure parental controls. To catch that video, subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon so you get notified when I post that video. For more information that is not in this video, check out links in the description. Thanks for watching and come back soon.